It's a cool looking truck. I love the new body line.
You know, the quickest way to get rid of your glass is we're gonna heat it up and it should just pop right out. All right. Jesus! Whoa, easy, buddy. What the f? There we go. The cool thing about that is I'll be able to reuse this after I chop it. We'll just have to cut the glass down.
Nice.
What's up, it's Casey from Caseyscustoms. We're back on the 69 Blazer project. In this video, we do some chassis work, we get the steering done, and we finally chop it. Let's go. We're back on the 1969 Blazer. She looks great. She's laying on the ground, but currently it's being held up by a couple jack stands and a block of wood. So we need to make a bunch of mounts. I'm going to try and get started on the floor. I don't know if I'm going to make all the floor, but at the very least, I need to get some bracing in here to hold the body up because the body is not even sitting on the chassis right now. It's just being held up by other things. Right now, I have it pretty damn level. It's almost perfect, but I need to double check, make sure our bed is perfectly level before we get making mounts because especially when you have no floor in it, everything can be twisted very easily. And you could have it leaning 2 degrees in the back and then leaning the other way 2 degrees in the front. We don't want any of that. Also, I wouldn't do the chop in this video, but first thing we need to do, obviously, is get this body mounted somehow to the frame, and then we can get started on our floor. So, I don't even know if I have any metal to mount it yet, but we're going to find out right now. Let's get to work. Okay, so, funny story. We got like, I don't know, 60 or 70 pieces of these 1-inch square tubing, little chunks. They're like 3 feet, 2 feet, whatever. They're all kind of different sizes. Dad got them from work like a year ago, and I don't have any longer pieces. So because I am not only lazy, but also cheap, I just started welding some of these together, and they're going to work out perfect for what this is. I'm just trying to hold the body up right now. I'm going to end up getting C-channel and shit whenever I make my floor. But I welded a couple up, and it is really good here. I have the back solid. I have the middle solid and the cab solid. Now I just got to start making the front clip solid. I don't know how I'm going to do that just yet. Kind of putting a pin in it right now. But once I get this one braced up, I should be able to air it up, roll it outside, and then just lay it out in the driveway, which is really what I want to do. Ooh, that's super solid. Maybe there to there. I don't know. We're going to experiment. And then hopefully the next video, well, the next live video you see is me pushing it outside. Body mounts are all made. They're certainly not perfect, but they're good enough. It's holding everything up the way it is. This is aired up, not even all the way, like probably 80%. And I am almost a full 12 inches off the ground. Now, I do have to mess with my rocker a little bit because I barely caved it in the other day, but either way, super happy. The top of the bed is the exact same angle all the way up. Our body line is all the same. I mean, I'm stoked. I really wasn't expecting this much lift. That is a ton of lift, which is awesome. I turned my wheels both ways, lock to lock, no issues, which is great. Like I said, these are such big wheels that I'm not going to use. Let's lay her on the ground and see how she looks. Check it out. Oh, I friggin' love it. Ooh. Sitting pretty. Oh, damn. Man, that looks good. My C-notch is still entirely too high, but whatever, it's fine. Cool. That is a cool looking Blazer, man. I really like this thing. Great news. Just went down to the steel place, ordered a ton of steel. Basically got everything coming that I need for the floor. And also to take care of this stupid step. I hate this step in Blazers. This is a step basically because your top goes there, and whenever the top isn't on, you just have this weird body line that just stops, and I hate it. So I got some square tubing coming that is 1.5 inches by 2 inches. It will be this exact body line all the way down the bed. We're gonna have to weld it, we're gonna have to blend it. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, but I just hate that so much. I hate that the body line just stops and cuts down. So we're gonna fix it. All that steel will be here tomorrow, so what I'm gonna work on today is the chop. And to do the chop, I need to get rid of these vent windows, wing windows, whatever you wanna call them. And naturally, they're not super easy to take out. You gotta take out a bunch of bolts down on the inside. That door panel's still on, so I'm gonna start stripping all that. I also, hopefully, we'll get my steering parts in here today and we can start on our steering. Because we are so low, we have to basically add a steering joint into our steering because, you know, just she's a lot higher than she used to be. That's why. So let's get to work. These wing windows are like the most annoying puzzle you've ever played. Get it to there. Ha! Jesus. What a pain in the ass. Now, with the door shut, let's see. Woo! That's pretty good when you got a convertible because there's literally nothing like structure-wise in the cab. But doors are still opening and closing. Very happy about that. I don't know if we're going to chop just yet, but we might. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the chop. I was going to start on my rear inner fenders, wheel wells, tubs, whatever the hell you want to call them. They need to go in there probably before I start figuring my floor out. And if I have steel coming tomorrow, I should get those mounted. Also, I need to cut these pockets out because I want these inner tubs to go all the way up to the inside of the rail. So I need to cut these out. I could technically cut this whole pocket out because we're going to be putting, you know, new metal up here anyway. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but I decided since I got the wing windows out to go ahead and do the chop. Another thing with the chop, I cut this big because I technically think I only need like an inch of it, and then your other top will bolt to it essentially. But I'm just going to leave it long for now because I don't want to decide how much to cut this until I get the fiberglass top on there. So we're just gonna worry about the chop for now, and we're not gonna get too crazy up here, even though that looks just horribly hacky. But it's just because that is super long. Like I said, at the very most, I might need 2 inches. So it'd be way back in here, but I'm not going to do that yet. We're going to put a pin in that. But yeah, I'm ready to chop some shit because I haven't chopped a top in forever. And I used to chop one, I don't know, about every month. So let's cut some shit. Okay, I don't know exactly how much I'm going to chop it just yet, but we're going to start with 2 1/4 inches. Why 2 1/4 inches? Because I have 3/4 inch tape and 1.5 inch tape. So when I put those together, it is 2 1/4. Now, you can obviously use a tape measure to line up your chop. That works just fine. But what you need is you want your lines to be absolutely perfect. You can measure 2 inches pretty easily and then have a cut going that way and another cut going that way. So I like to use masking tape. And a trick I would do whenever I was chopping a ton of cars is I used to buy 4-inch or 5-inch masking tape, or 3, whatever you need to do. So if you're doing a 4-inch chop on a Model A, you buy 4-inch masking tape that's exactly 4 inches. It's super easy. Just put the tape on there and then you know exactly, your lines are absolutely perfect. There's nothing you can do because the tape won't have any curve to it. So it's kind of a little trick I like to do. I wish I had 2.5 inch tape because I'm kind of wanting a 2.5 inch chop, but we're going to start with 2 1/4. Obviously that is not very much. And I'm going to get it back on there after we get it cut and kind of see how it looks. And if I need to take another inch off or whatever, we'll do it then. But you can always cut less. You can't really cut more and then try and put it back because it just doesn't work out. So I've looked at pictures. Unfortunately, it seems like the pictures of chops, it's either just 4 or 5 inches or nothing. It's hard to find a mild chop on a 67 to 72. I found a couple and I kind of like them. So let's just see what happens. We're going to start cutting some shit and see what happens. But first, I got to get my other side marked up and then we'll fire up the grinder. All right, it's go time. What I'm going to do is start all my cuts with the cutoff wheel. And then this inner structure that obviously the cutoff wheel isn't thick enough to get to, I'll hit that with the Sawzall. What you don't want to do is cut this with the Sawzall because they just make a horrible cut and they don't cut straight very often. So you always want to start it with a cutoff wheel. The best way to do everything with a cutoff wheel, but this post is way too thick for that. Let's cut some shit, baby! Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put the hood on. That way I don't get a bunch of sparks in my engine. That's probably smart. All right, I decided before I chop this C10, I need to put some weld-proof paper on the windows of this Monte Carlo because I don't want to mess up these windows. They're good. I don't want weld splatter all over them or grind splatter all over them. I have never used this paper before. This shit is $150 a roll, which is crazy, but it's like one big sticker. Ooh, let's give it a shot. That's like a $10 piece right there. Look at it's sticky. Oh, it's not that sticky. I like this shit a whole lot. I don't know if it's worth $150 a roll, but I like it. Alright, let's cut some shit. Okay, I got the 2 1/4 inches out. Now we have to start putting our puzzle pieces back together. Because windshields have a taper in them, they are narrower at the top than they are at the bottom. This top piece is 2 or 3 inches from even coming close to fitting where this bottom piece is now. If I get this post on here, my driver's side post is off that much. I mean, it's not even close. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do this. You can widen your top. We would just cut it right here and then add that 3 inches there, and then that would make that wider. But the only problem with that is I do want my fiberglass top to fit on. We're obviously going to have to chop the fiberglass top too. It's going to be a whole thing. But if this is wider up here, that means where the top mounts, it won't fit here anymore because this will be too wide. So this measurement needs to stay the same so that my fiberglass top will fit. So what we're going to do, we're going to pinch our post in. What you got to do, you got to come in here, take a cut on the inside, not all the way out here, just on the inside, and you basically take, I don't know, 1/4 inches out, and then we'll get a ratchet strap and actually pull those in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it in as much as it needs to go. I might have to also widen these a little bit. So basically pull this post out and pull that post in. I don't know. We're going to have to make some cuts and see what we can do. But it is imperative that this stays the same shape and the same size so that my top will fit. Because I just don't want the top to fit. I think a chopped windshield will look badass, but a full chopped fiberglass top, I've never seen it done before. So I think it'd be super dope. It's just an ungodly amount of work, but that's okay. This is a radical build. We're going to get radical and it's going to take a lot of hours, but we're having fun and that's what matters. Let's start cutting. I'm going to cut these posts here, see how much I can get them pinched in. If that isn't enough, I'm going to have to cut this up here too and widen it too. So I said all that to say I'm going to be cutting the shit out of stuff and we're going to do time lapse. Okay, I got it sitting exactly where I want it. Very, very happy with it. My cuts are all real tight. Be super easy to weld. I'm gonna hammer that one a little bit. The only bad thing is I pinched these, just cut them like normal. Could not get them to move over. They are extremely strong. So I had to cut a bigger chunk out of that than I wanted, which is going to make a little more work. I'm going to have to actually put a piece back in there, but that's okay. They would not come over. There's nothing I can do. I was ratchet strapping them. I was hitting them with the freaking sledge. It just didn't want to bend, and I was worried I was going to start collapsing this tube up here. So I just said, screw it. I'll make a bigger cut. The good news is everything looks really, really nice and lined up. Took a bunch of measurements. Everything looks square. The only thing I don't want to do, it looks good where it's at, but I need to keep an eye on it while welding. Your windshield can go one way or the other because we're pinching both ends over. So one side could be more upright than the other. So you want those angles to match, and there's really no great way to measure them. So you just got to kind of keep an eye on them and make sure, that one pillar of the windshield isn't at, 30 degrees and the other one's at 10. You want them both to match. So it's not bad. I'm going to go ahead and hit a couple tack welds so I can get my clamps out of the way and make sure I can get a good weld on there. Because right now it looks like it's solid. I could just flick it and it would fall right now. It's barely together. But yeah, let's get a couple tack welds on it, and then we can let go of our straps and see how it looks. All right, great news. Everything looks great. Got it tack welded, nothing really moved on me. Both of our pillars match. Our angle this way matches. We are within a 1/16 of an inch on height on each side, which is what it was before I cut it. So really happy. I'm gonna go ahead and weld this solid so I don't have to worry about anything moving on me. I'm gonna go ahead and stick some weld on the inside of my pillars too so they don't move around as well. So yeah, gonna weld some shit. All right, it's welded. Now we're gonna grind it and make it pretty. Got it blended, took forever. The bad news is, or not the bad news is, but whenever you go to blend these, you gotta make them perfect because that one there's a windshield mount, and then this one out here is your windshield seal mount. So if you get that wrong, it can leak. If you get it wrong, your windshield won't sit in right. Pain in the ass, but it's done. It is done and it is pretty. I still have to do a bunch of grinding on the inside, but it's not going anywhere. Super solid. Very, very happy with how this chop came out. Looks great. I wasn't so sure if 2 1/4 was going to be enough, but after looking at it, that's perfect. I definitely don't want it any more than that. It'll start looking a little silly. In the 80s, they would chop the living shit out of these trucks like 4 or 5 inches, and I am not a fan of how that looks. So I was kind of worried I was going down that road, but 2 1/4 looks perfect. Damn, she looks good. Okay, what I'm going to do now is cut these pockets out, and we're going to start trying to fit our rear wheel wells. These are actually the stock ones, and I think obviously if I raise the living shit out of them, I think I can make these work, which would be really nice, save me a lot of money, and it'll kind of look the part. So yeah, let's cut some shit again. All right. What I did was I went ahead and just ran a bolt through it for now. Obviously, that's not doing anything great, but I can use that as a reference for where I want it. I'm not going to weld anything, obviously, because if we ever run, you know, different tires, different wheels, all that's going to change. But I also need to move it in a little bit. But that's going to work to kind of get me figured out on what we need to start making some, you know, our floor and all that fun shit. So I'm going to do that on the other side, and then we'll lower it down, drop it up a couple different times, and make sure nothing's hidden. All right, great news. I got a ton of parts in today. I got all my steering parts so we can finish up the steering. I also got my Panhard bar. Right now, I do not have one because the stock one won't work because of how low we are. So that means the axle just isn't being centered. Anyways, got all that in. Also, all of my metal is ready to pick up, so I'm going to go get that. Here's where it gets a little fun. The metal I have is in 10-foot sticks, and that is a 6-foot bed. So naturally, I got the GoPro strapped to it so we can see what happens. But yeah, might get interesting. The good news is I only got to go like a couple 100 yards. They're just right over there. You can actually almost see the building from here. So let's do it. That's dope. They let me take video of the truck inside their, you know, metal shop. It looked so badass. There's like $1 million worth of steel behind it. Very, very fun. Luckily, I'm not going very far, which is nice, but this stuff is not the lightest, and I took 2 guys to load it, and I'm only here by myself now, so let's see. Also, another fun thing, I'm going to put it all over there, and I do not want to scratch the Monty, so let's see how it goes. Got it all unloaded. This is basically all for the Blazer. I realized while I was talking to the guys down there, this is almost all of it's going to the Blazer. I got 2 sheets of 18 gauge. I won't need both sheets, but either way, the plate is going to go on the frame. This 1.5 by 2 inch rectangle tubing is perfect for this top piece right here. It'll sit right there perfectly. It'll have a little bit of a gap here because we're gonna have to make a little sheet metal piece to match our body line, but we will finally get rid of that stupid step. I hate it so much. Now, we're looking at this. We got what, 40 feet of square tubing, 20 feet of, you know, some 1/4 inch plate steel, and then 2 pieces of 18 gauge sheet metal. You're like, yeah, it's probably, you know, 5-6 years ago, that was probably $100 worth of steel. 600 and something, 640, I think is what I spent. Oh, steel is crazy expensive right now. I knew that going in though, but good news is that is more than enough to finish up what we're doing here. Now, my last video on this truck was 35 minutes long, and it did not do very well, so we're gonna have to slow these videos down a little bit. What I'm gonna do, I wanna finish up my rear wheel well for now. Then we're gonna get on our Panhard bar and our steering, and maybe we'll try and get started on these posts up here. I don't know, but I need to stop rambling and get to work. All right, I got the wheel wells just sitting there. I got a couple bolts in them. That's not gonna be how they're mounted by any means, but I was gonna start making mounts for those, but I'm gonna wait because technically I need to make the floor mounts for the bed, and I think those might get in the way, so I'm just gonna kind of leave them half-assed bolted up. They're certainly not on there very good, but I'm gonna leave those there for now. And I'm gonna start on my Panhard bar. This is a universal Panhard bar, and I've cut up the stock location of the Panhard bar so I can actually get it to bolt there. And then I'm gonna try and run it right there. I don't know, it's a little bit longer than I'd like it to be, but I think it'll work. What I'm gonna do right now is notch this piece of metal so it'll sit right on that corner of the frame. And then I'm gonna tack weld it, and we'll, you know, make it go up and down. Panhard bar, what it does is it keeps your rear end center, because with the 4-link or just the lower arms that I have, or the lower links, it can just move all over the place. Nothing is keeping it center. You know, if your 4 bars go forward, but they don't do anything side to side, this is your side to side stop. So, yeah, I wish it was about 6 inches shorter. I could cut it, but it's threaded on the inside, and I don't have that type of tap. So, I don't know. I think it'll be okay longer, but yeah, let's see what happens. Let's cut some shit. Oh, Richard was whining because I didn't film a lot of shit.
Which one's Richard?
Richard's the guy that edits the videos. I was working on this, and I didn't have the bed on, and I cut all the floor. What?
Alley. Parked down the alley.
Wait, just open the door. Open the big door. That sounds like them.
Who?
The neighbor. Wait in the way. Here, I'll get out of the way. I think we might need to change it.
Huh?
I think we might need to change it.
No, you don't. You go up?
See you go up. Is it catching on that nut?
Nope.
It didn't?
No. You're right there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that did work perfect.
Look at that.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Look at that. You're right there.
That's perfect.
Uh-huh.
And I think what I'll do is I'll make a plate that'll connect that little thing to it too.
So you gonna put shocks on this thing?
I got shocks coming. And I got shock mounts. I'm gonna weld them right there, and then they'll go right here.
Mm-hmm.
Easy peasy.
Easy pleasy.
Alright, well, let's see what it is.
That's 12-volt rear end.
That's a big one.
And she's walking over. Oh, and you're rubbing on your rear end.
Yeah, I gotta change that. Bada bing.
Gotta cut her back a little bit.
Yeah. All right, Dad came by. I cycled it up and down a bunch of times. We're good. It was hitting one of the spots, but I gave her the old how you doing with a hammer. We're good now. I'm going to go ahead and weld that solid. So this is done. He also helped me get the hood off. So we're going to start on the steering and get the steering knocked out. I don't know if I showed this earlier, so I will show it now. I got, ooh, that's all merch, baby. I got some new steering joints. I got an eye joint, which we can use as a brace, because as you can see, when this is all the way down, it's running into that A-arm. So this needs to have a joint here and a joint here because this angle is not working. I had it all the way back down the other day. I was going, what is holding up the driver's side? And I'm like looking, I'm pushing on it. I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I look over and this poor steering column is just holding on for dear life. The whole weight of the truck was on it. I was like, oh, goddamn. So I jacked it up and cut it. Shouldn't be too hard, but I say that and then I get to looking at it and it looks like it could be hard, but we'll start putting it together after I get this welded. All right. Whoa, that made it a little bit easier. The fact that I got to use the stock mount. And then not only did I weld this giant 1/2-inch plate, I also welded it to my notch, so it's not going anywhere. Very, very happy with how this came out. I wasn't so sure of it at first, but after cycling it up and down, it looks great. So let's get started on our steering. I think we finally got the combination figured out. I could be speaking too soon though, too. There's that. Go right there. Ooh. Right there like that. Once you start getting the joints locked in, it's hard to make it move. Should be able to bring that over to there, right? Ooh, that might be it right there. That might be it. Let me get my welder out and see if I can't get that tack welded. I might have this combination figured out, and I'll bring you down in here in a second when I get it tack welded. Alright, I'm going to tighten all this shit down. I'm not going to weld it fully. I'm going to tighten all this shit down, jack it up, and see how it turns. It looks like we're good to go. Now this is power steering, so it's not going to do great without the power steering, but ooh, it's perfect! Sweet. Oh, that makes me so freaking happy, man. And then all we gotta do, so check it out. Everything is good, everything stayed straight. I thought I was gonna need another brace. This works as a brace. Check this out. This is aired all the way up. Wow, it's taking a long time to drop down. There it goes. Check it out. That A-arm sits exactly next to the steering. It doesn't hit. You shouldn't need to steer, obviously, if it's all the way down, but it actually doesn't hit. I was spinning it if it was all the way down. I mean, you're not gonna be able to turn because you're fenders, but it technically still could. So I need to weld all that solid. Fuck you, air compressor. I didn't even hear you. Super productive day, man. Got the steering done. Got the Panhard bar done. Finally got all my steel. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm about done. That's for damn sure. I might start getting one of the pieces put up there so we can get rid of our stupid step, but I don't know. I'm calling it a day. Today was a 12-hour day, so I'm done.
The next day.
Okay, I went through the footage last night to see where we were on this truck. I think I said at the beginning of the video, I didn't want to have a ton of footage. I don't want a super long video, and then sure enough, I was looking at it last night. We have like 60 clips already, so that's a lot of footage. That's fine. Just more work for Richard, which he can always handle because he's such a great video editor. Anyways, what I decided to do, instead of starting on my body mounts, I'm just going to do all that on the next video because it's just going to take forever and I'm going to have to stop in the middle of it. I decided I'm gonna finish up my chop. Now the chop itself is done on the windshield, but I did not chop the doors or the wing windows, and they take quite a while. So what I wanna get the passenger side done so we can get the hood thrown on there and we can have a real nice side profile picture. And I think that's what I wanna do. So I'm gonna get started on that right now. I think I need to chop the door first. The door part, super easy, gonna take 5 minutes. Vent windows are a real pain in the ass. You gotta break them down and basically chop them in pieces and then put them all back together. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Don't break. There we go. Whoa! Ow! Ah! Fuck! God damn it! Oh, that hurt. Now you should slide out. Why are you not sliding out? Oh, my foot hurts so bad. Oh, come on, you son of a bitch. There we go. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yay! I need those washers. All right, cool. So, that's how you take it out. All right, now we got to get rid of the glass. We're going to take our time with this glass. Well, you know the quickest way to get rid of your glass is we're going to heat it up and it should just pop right out. I got to find my torch. All right. Jesus. Whoa, easy, easy, buddy. What the fuck? What happened to this guy? Bro, you're just supposed to be a torch. What the fuck? This guy might have got overflowed. That's way too much. What is going on? Okay, well maybe we will smash this glass. There we go. Holy shit. This torch might have got dropped a couple times. Okay, well this should take 2 seconds, but let's see what happens. Okay, so everybody, the other day when I smashed the windshield in this, everybody said my content was getting predictable. Everybody knew I was going to smash the glass in it. So I didn't smash the glass in this. I actually took it out the right way. And what you got to do, you just got to heat up that glue and it'll pop right out. It's pretty easy. It's like a weird weather strip, but it also has some type of a glue in it. You just heat it up, it pops right out. And then the cool thing about that, not smashing it, is I'll be able to reuse this after I chop it. We'll just have to cut the glass down. Got it done. Vent windows are a giant pain in the ass. I still need to weld it and blend it a little bit better. You have to cut the post because this has obviously been shortened. You have to cut the wing window part because the shape has changed a little bit. You have to cut the frame 2 different places, not only because of the height, but it has to get longer because this is moved over. Real pain in the ass. Good news is since I still have the side glass in, I rolled the side glass up and down. So I know it's exactly where it needs to be. So very happy. That side looks great. I'm going to throw the hood on, probably roll her outside, see how she looks, and call this a video. Ooh, I would like to throw up one of those pieces of pipe right here. I might do that to see how it looks for our stupid step. Yeah, let's do that real quick and then I'm done. Damn, that's a cool looking truck. I love the new body line, especially when you get down here. I just got it sitting there with some C-clamps, but it looks great. Oh man, the chop looks so good on this thing. Wow, I'm really happy. Really happy. Oh yeah. What a good looking truck. Damn, I love it. I was gonna run some, I don't know, bigger wheels. I'm kind of rocking with these Steelies. We might have to do Steelies. Man, it looks good. Whew. All right, calling that a video. God damn, I'm gonna leave this thing outside for a little bit, I think. I mean, I'm so freaking happy with how this truck looks. Especially when you look at it from the outside. When you look at the inside, you start going, oh my God, there's just so much work that needs done. I mean, yeah, but the outside, it's probably one of the coolest trucks I've ever built, and I've built a lot of trucks. It's just, the Blazers are cool because they're like a shorter wheelbase. It just looks aggressive. Oh, so happy with how this build is going. Another 1,000,000 hours in this week, but I mean, come on. So freaking happy. Looks good. I got a bunch of parts coming for this thing. I have my cowl mounted hood hinges, which you have to use for bagged trucks because the stock hood hinges just won't work anymore because the wheel basically is where the hood hinge is. I got all that coming, and we're definitely gonna get started on mounting the body and also starting to make that body line. Man, everything's starting to work out. We finally got our steel. Very, very happy. Stay tuned for more updates. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. We are gonna be painting the Monte Carlo here very soon as well. Also, Caseyscustoms.com for all your merch needs. If you are not already subscribed, please hit that button now. If you are subscribed but you don't have your post notifications turned on, make sure you click that bell now. You will be notified every time I post a new video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, comment, all that good stuff they tell you to do at the end of videos, and check out some more of my other videos. Peace. Love ya.